Tonight's going to be fun. So, all right, everyone. I really want to welcome everyone here, and I want to welcome a lot of the new people that are beginning to join our Spiritual Healing with Mark Ehrlich's Facebook community group. I'm thankful that you do, participate and that you grow, that you will grow from the group and the posts and things that are being offered, etc. And so let me see here. Excited to see you too. Yay, Mackenzie. Yay. Mary Edwards, hi. How are you? From Philadelphia. Oh my God. Wonderful to see you. Thanks for being here, Mary. I'm glad that you can find the time to join us. That's wonderful. And again, there's a lot of new people that are joining up on the Spiritual Healing with Mark Ehrlich's Facebook page. And, I'm just thankful. And we're going to be growing, eventually. It's going to take time for that new community group. It's fairly new. It's a couple months old, but it doesn't really get promoted a whole lot, though I should promote it on other Facebook pages, etc. We're going to be doing that. That page has a lot more to offer than the Mark Ehrlich's page, the plain personal page of Mark Ehrlich's. And please do join if you have an opportunity, if you're not already members of it. And so let me see here. Lynn's here. She's going to be doing some posting. She's my help, my main hub. And she lives in Canada. And she gets her water from a well for washing and for dishes and everything else, I think. So she'll yell at me for saying this. Or she'll crack up, one or the other. And they're really cold up in Canada. We're starting to get chilly here on and off. If it gets down to maybe 15 or 20 degrees here, or 10 degrees even, the next day is usually about 50 or 60 or 70. So we never know what's going to happen here in the Boulder area. And good. I'm glad you're doing well. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you very, very much. A lot of good friends here. Oh my gosh. Oh, so let's see here. I want to announce the on the 10th of November is a Useful Healing Techniques. It's a free mini course that I'll be offering, and Lynn will be shooting the information out. And I'll just go into the world of working with healing and teaching, not actually working with people. Maybe I might. It's an hour course that's going to be offered on the site, and excuse me, on Zoom. So Lynn will send out the information for that, and where to sign up and stuff. And the information will be on the Spiritual Healing of Mark Ehrlich's page as well, to where to sign up. Lynn will put that on there. So please do take advantage of that. It's a free course, and it's dynamic. All the courses, even if I've given them 5 times or 100 times, are all different. And it goes with accordingly to the mind of the group. And that's the way I prefer it. And this way, everyone is going to get something out of it. And if someone doesn't understand something, I'll explain it in a different way. So understand that no questions are poo-pooed. I'll give you everything I can according to the mind of the group and what you're looking for. That's just what I do. And I think Christina has taken, and Patty have taken many courses, and they're all different. I don't care if it's the same course or not, they're all different. So please do take advantage of the free Useful Healing Techniques mini course that I'll be offering on November 10th. And let me see here, and Lynn will put that information up at some point. And then, and please, if it's within your heart, do what I refer to as, it's not a donation, it's a gifting or supporting. And on my webpage, I believe it's on the home page of the webpage. And uh, it not only helps us to keep going, but it helps people who can't afford much. And I just want to give everything that I can to them. And so it helps them to be able to attend classes or to have appointments. So if it's within your heart, not mandatory, but if it's within your heart, please do so. It's very awesome for people. And every other week I have the Healing Circle. I just had one yesterday on Tuesdays. They're always on Tuesday at 6:30, and they're live as well, and that's free. So please, go to those healing circles, take advantage of them. And every Wednesday night, every week, I do this with the gathering, and I'll be giving as much as I can in this. Let me see here. Your courses are unique. Yes, they are. I love it. Thanks, 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 thanks. And and Christina, yeah, so informative. They've been to many of the courses. Lynn just put up a thing about the events on the sidebar. So if you don't know about them, please do take advantage of them. But the weekly gathering is, I'll be talking little bits or lots, and people can feel free to ask me questions on my perspective of aspects of spirituality, whatever the aspect that you're curious about. I'll try to answer to the best that I can from my heart. And I'll talk about healing. Ask me questions about healing. I'll be more than happy to answer anything that I possibly can. Good. Lynn put up everything. Yay! And yeah, love it. Yeah, love it. Love it. I'm clicking off these things. Next online healing circle is also on the 10th with the mini course, and the circle's at 6:30, and the mini course is during the day at different times, and you'll see it on the events listing. So please do take advantage of those. And she put up a donation thing where it's at. Good. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. So let me see here. If there's any questions you have for me, you can either write to Lynn, and or if you have questions about contact information or whatever. And her email is at admin@markehrlicks.com. And my email is mark@markehrlicks.com. So either to Lynn at admin or me to Mark at markehrlicks.com. Today I'll also be working with a couple people with healing if the questions don't take up all the time. And at the very end, we'll try to get in a little meditation. It's a very short meditation, but I think that they're really powerful. They're wonderful. It's an opportunity to go within, and that's what's important for me in my life and what I teach. I think that's our source, an aspect of it that we all can tap into to varying degrees. And so, yeah, Lynn just put up her email address. Yay! And so please do take advantage of corresponding with any of us. I also offer appointments. Please do take advantage of that. It's an hour, up to an hour appointment. Some people only want 15 minutes. Other people want a half an hour. Other people want, everyone's up to an hour. It depends on, what your needs are, and you'll know. And I leave it to each person. I'm very open to that. So, let me see here. My friend Sue Cavas, she wrote, I signed up for the workshop on Unleashing Your Fearless Imagination. This is going to be at the end of the month on the 26th, next week. Unleashing Your Fearless Imagination is going to be dynamic. But in any case, it's a full workshop. It's a paid-for workshop. And she said, I signed up for the workshop on Unleashing Your Fearless Imagination, and that's going to be for 4 days, uh, from 11 o'clock to 12:30 each day, so an hour and a half each day. If you can't attend one of the days or several of the days, it will be available for whoever purchased the workshop on YouTube on a private channel. And it will be unique. I haven't given this workshop before, and she wants to know, her question is, how is it different than creative daydreaming? Thank you. And she'll listen to the replay on this as well. Well, hi, Sue. Thanks for your question, and hi when you see the replay. And I'll make this brief with an answer, because we have the workshop coming up just in a few days on it, and I won't spill the beans on everything. Creative daydreaming, I've not utilized that in the daydreaming. I know that our daydreaming, in some sense, is like clouds. We can make whatever we want out of them. And it sounds to me, I don't know if you're referring to a course or something someone is offering, but it sounds to me that it's more of wishful thinking in the daydreaming, that if utilized properly, something that can be constantly changed. And, that's not necessarily where this course is going to be taking you with the Unleashing Your Fearless Imagination. Imagination is very real to me in my life. And again, I'll make this brief because the workshop will give a lot more information and exercises, etc. And that's coming up on the 26th. But the creative imagination is learning basically to control and utilize and your imagination to image in action and purposefully, in very purposeful use, and making use of the imaging. We'll be learning to purposely focus easily in working with the imagination, and learning to find the discipline within to imagine and create. That's my take on it, where I come from, and what I teach. We'll also be learning about the activity of living thoughts, similar basically in concept with the various orthodoxies that have the icons or living pictures in their chapels, etc. In a brief way of expressing it just now. And I always share that we're created in the image of God, and we also have the ability to recreate in that image. So it's dependent upon our depth of how we want to utilize that, and I'll teach the depth of it. And this workshop will take a little more mystical role in the way that I express it. So, in any case, that's my take on what the workshop will be basically about. And you'll have plenty of experiential work in it that I'll be getting into. Let me make some more check-offs here. And there are payment options available as well. So, thanks. And hey, Stephen, good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Oh my gosh, great to have you here. Ava, Celeste, hey, how you doing? Thanks for being here, Ava. I'm really appreciative. She has a question for me here. How can you tap into your intuition instead of 1 second, let me make an adjustment on this screen. I'm getting wild here. All right. She wanted to know how can you tap into intuition instead of just receiving it randomly? I think that's a great question, Ava. Let me see here. At previous times, I mentioned this, I've talked about this, and it's an awesome question. Well, in my perspective of the world according to Gart Mark and experience and teachings, etc. It's about practicing with what comes to you. It's about practicing and acknowledging and trial and error if you're trying to learn it purposefully. And but in some sense, as you're trying to learn it, you're really internally adapting to it, and it becomes a natural part of you. Uh, the what we call the gut feelings, and I've mentioned this 1,000 times to people in my classes and appointments and stuff. Uh, in what we call the gut feelings that were developed from millions of years ago, that were originally emanated from a sense, but came from really the pineal gland that developed into the gut to gut communication that we had millions of years ago. And so first it was like a sense organ that developed in coming into humankind. And that's what we had, this pineal gland that was, huge before our eyes were developed. So we had to learn how to sense. And that's before the plates formed together in our skull. That's why we have suture lines now, because they came together. But this pineal gland was enlarged, and that's how we sensed. Then it went into, it developed, as it developed, the eyes became wider instead of little tiny beads, and over millions of years in our evolutionary process. And then it went into, sensing gut to gut. And from there, eventually it developed into, over hundreds of thousands of years ago. In its process, we went from gut to gut to heart. And later in our evolutions, we are capable of now, which we are capable of now and developing, is heart to heart. And this is what we're learning now, and it's going to take a long time even to develop even greater into that and understand that more and more. We just don't all have heart to heart, and we're learning that and whatever we have learned is just, in some sense like a beginning, but in an evolutionary way. And from there, it just goes into heart to mind. And I know of some people that have the ability of heart to mind communication and sense. And I even know of even fewer people on this earth who have the ability of mind to mind. And so, but this is all evolutionary process. My point is, though, that this is an evolution for each person as well. For you, Ava, for anyone. Intuition means inner teaching. And the idea to learn to listen to the guidance and direction from what the mystics of old used to refer to as the guidance and direction from that small, still voice within, our source. And this is, just as mentioned, the small, still, the still part is the quiet, the calm, the peaceful voice. And that's what we're learning. That's what we're finding out. And we have all these activities around us since our birth to learn how to come to it. We have all these conflicts. We have all these dynamics happening to us, the so-called good, the so-called bad. They're all a part of the scheme of things in order to help us to learn this. And that's why everything is just so dynamic, regardless of whether it's creative or destructive in our lives or other people's lives. It helps us to evolve, to grow, to learn otherwise. And so we all have it within us. And we have access to it all the time. It's always waiting for us to come to it, to search it out. And that's what the intuition develops from. The intuition develops from our experience of life. It expands our horizons in order to be more involved in the inner teaching. And that's what we've been striving for in our lives, is to understand that and to find that divinity within, that godliness within, that has all the information, has all the knowledge, and it's waiting for us always. And that's why we're striving for it uh, to hone in, to develop, to grow, to mature more and more as we have these experiences of our lives. And so again, we all have access to it, and it's waiting for us to come to it, to search it out. And so that's my answer in some sense. And you already are accessing it, uh, and because you're recognizing it, because you're striving for it. So you already are accessing it. It's what I refer to as the chaos in your life of going through the turmoil of not controlling it. It only happens momentarily in your life. And that's why you're asking questions about it. That's why you're striving for it, because it's egging you on for it. It's already there. It's waiting to be recognized and uh, also given credence to more often. Then it becomes the self-control as you're purposely pursuing it. Then you'll notice that there's even more peace in your life, and that it comes upon you from within you. We find this out. You're also noticing that the worldly matters, or you will notice if you haven't already, in some sense, that the worldly matters don't even have much impact in your life. They don't, you won't even have a need to participate in the constructive or destructive things that are happening in the world, because they're not real in your life anymore, and they get less and less real. And there's a blending then that happens, and you're already going through that, and everyone here is. You're going through the blending of the world and of spirit. And that's the true spirituality that we're seeking. And these things happen with us more often and more predominantly in our life as we give ourselves to that search of the intuitive, the inner teaching. So I hope that makes sense to some degree. And that's what we're going to be discovering also in the workshop coming up on the 26th, the 4-day workshop. We're going to be getting into working with the imagination. It's going to be somewhat mystical in its understanding, as I mentioned, and it's going to be, for your growth. And that's what I'm pursuing, is to give as much as I can. Please, anyone would like me to briefly work with them? Anyone here, please feel free to share with me anything. Anyone have any questions or anything anyone has in their bodies that are bugging them? We got a half an hour left. I don't know what else to talk about. So please share with me. Is there anything anyone would like me to work with them? A chronic situation? I like to save the emotional situations for the appointments, if anyone wants one. So please do share with me. Any questions anyone would like to ask that I can try to answer. I work with what I refer to, my gift is the light. It's my gift, my goal, and my tool. It's all that I know and when I'm working with healing. And so, and some people, most people, I should say, experience something happen most immediately. Some people will even feel my touch, but it's not my touch. It's the touch of my spirit that they're sensing, that's touching their skin or inside their organs or whatever, or situations. And most people will tell me that something immediately has happened. And other people will say, uh, you know, nothing happened until they walked out the door, or if they saw me in person, either walking out the door or walking down the street 2 weeks or 2 months later, saying, "Oh my God, when did this leave me?" And I never know. I pretty much leave it up to the divinity, the godliness, which is my source, and I'm just utilized for it. And I believe we all have the ability to work with these things, and this is what I teach in my other courses as well. If you ever have the opportunity to take them, like some of y'all had. Um, Let me see here what Patty wrote. Patty, your left thumb, repetitive motion, overuse. Oh my God. Let me work with you, Patty. And I'm going to do it a little differently than putting my hands out. That's more um, symbolic, where people can identify. I'm going to do it a little bit differently, Patty. And you just sit back, take a deep breath, and you tell me if something happens with your left thumb from the repetitive motion that you utilize in your life, in your activities. All right, Patty, please move your thumb a little bit, your left thumb, and tell me if you notice any difference or if you sense something that might have happened, please. Please let me know, Patty. I'd be grateful to hear uh, if you notice any difference, or but you usually notice things the next day, I think. So let me know. Also, sometimes, and many people here know this, sometimes I'll see things or hear things within myself, and uh, it's available, and it's the intuitive, it's the inner teaching, and so it shares with me because I sometimes practice it in my life, in being that calm or being at peace. And though I do have a lot of activity in my life that derails me, uh, but at the same time, um, it is available. And many people have told me that the things that have come out of my mouth are right on and what I'm perceiving someone that I'm working with. It's not always, by any means. I'm not a prophet, and I don't want to be. I'm a healer by the grace of God, and that's about it. So, um, Patty, it feels clear, like a younger thumb. I hope that these are quickie healings, so it may last for a short while or may last for the rest of your life, as I always tell people. Um, so please do keep me updated. I'm so glad to hear that, Patty. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that with me. And Christina wrote, I'd like to hear your thoughts about unlearning thinking behaviors that no longer serve a purpose. Well, how do you catch yourself so you can replace them with positive, constructive thoughts that lead to manifestation? A couple different topics there, but but I do see where you're coming from, and that's true. All right, and they do correlate. Uh, but my thought is that let's see here. I'd like to hear your thoughts about unlearning thinking behaviors. When we The idea is to purposefully become more conscious. I love the question. Is to purposely become more conscious. It's a desire. And it's taking a look at our activities, our thinkings, the words that come out of our mouth, what comes from our heart. It's taking a look at those things and catching them. And it's such a simple dynamic once we begin the process. And there's several different techniques. One is, well, ideally catching them. And once we catch these things, then they become right in front of us. They're conscious, right there, and it's like catching a fly. It's all around the place, and then imagining that you're going to be, it's going to fly this way, and it does. Imagine it, and just catch it. Well, now it's caught. It's stopped. That's what happens when you catch it and realize that you caught yourself thinking about it. And it's almost like we're the fly and we're flying all over the place. And then we stop ourselves, and then the thoughts aren't rampant and they're not chaos, like the old proverbial chicken with its head cut off. That's what we do quite often unknowingly. So here we are catching ourselves. Once we catch ourselves, it no longer has a place to hide. It's stopped for that moment. So the more often we can catch ourselves, the more often those thoughts get less and less and further in between. That's one very useful technique you can utilize, is just stopping yourself and becoming conscious that you are thinking these destructive or non-constructive thoughts, which affect the words that come out of your mouth, which affect the words that come from your heart, or the feelings from the heart. It catches everything when you catch that, and so that's one dynamic that you can work with, one tool you can work with. And how do you catch yourself so you can replace them with positive? You don't want to replace anything with positive. I know what everyone teaches you. In my perspective, the world according to Gartmark, you don't want to catch it and replace it with something else. You just want to be conscious of it. And then you'll see that something takes over for you where you're not in judgment anymore, in judgment of yourself or judgment of others. And we find ourselves in a quandary, which is usually the next step of that. We find, what do I do? Or this is awkward for me. But what you're seeing is that the thought was awkward, the destructive thought, the non-compliant thought within you. It's non-constructive. It doesn't serve you anymore. And so that's the process that happens. And then we find ourselves living differently or thinking differently. That's my perspective. And I sometimes need to do that myself. When I'm thinking something destructive or something, a feeling from within me, or I'm witnessing something destructive, I don't replace it with anything unless I'm using another tool. It's called the word or the law, and I'll change that, and I won't get into that now. But this is one way you can utilize getting out of those or what you call unlearning, by just witnessing it, and then the pattern breaks. You're no longer involved in the loop of that pattern, and then it'll keep trying to tempt you, but as you catch yourself, it will no longer have any life to it, and you'll find yourself doing something else instead, observing or participating in a different way in life. I hope that makes sense. And that's the best way that I can answer it. I'm so sorry. All right. Hey, Sushian, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm really grateful that you're here, hon. And you're losing a lot of hair. One thing, I don't prescribe, I don't diagnose, and I don't tell anyone they're healed. I let people pretty much tell me what's happened with them in their life. And I like to keep it kosher like that. My understanding, and I'll say what I've heard What I hear is from within myself. I understand that vitamin D and vitamin B supplements can help if you get a good quality, and they help. The vitamin D will help with the nails and the hair. And also foods, proper foods, whatever they should be. Um, I'm not a health food freak by any means. Just give me my almond M&Ms and I'm fine with my coffee, and I'm fine. And but so people, and it's also the internal worries that contribute to that. So everything I say is just is nothing that I've learned in school or studied or anything else. It's just from within myself. I'm not a doctor or healthcare worker. Those are my answers to you. So, good question though, and I think a lot of it is stress, in my perception of what is happening. So, if you take care of yourself, um, and also contribute with the vitamin D, it might help. And whatever else, other people may have other things I don't know. That's just what I'm perceiving. Patty, it feels clear. And oh, she said that. Okay, good about the thumb. All right. And please keep me updated, Patty, how that's doing during this time here, the short period of time left. Please, Patty. And Sushian, let me know if you. Okay, good. I agree. Accept all your thoughts as part of you. Yes, and that's my answer, truthfully from within myself. Uh, and Julie, hey Juliet, good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Didn't even I don't see most of the names that are up. I only get about 8 or 9 of them or 10 of them, so I don't see everyone. Hey, I hope you're well, Juliet, and that you're feeling well from the last either healing circle or gathering. I don't know. I don't remember where you're at, but and thanks for the loving the clarification. I'm grateful for that. Uh, and so, tell me how you're feeling and what I had worked with last, Juliet. I'm really curious. If you don't mind, please. And so, um, let me see here. Christina, a great explanation. Yes, makes sense. Thank you. Oh, great. And let me see here. Sushian, yay. Yeah, let me get some hashtag you rocks. Google loves that stuff. So please. Hey, John, good to see you here. Thanks for being here. I'm really grateful. Is there anyone, and Steve Howard is here too. Yay. I said hello to him earlier, but I wanted to give you a big acknowledgement, Steve. And Sue's going to be watching this later. Put hashtag you rock. Google loves the analytics on that and gives me greater ratings in their analytics. So if you can do that, I would be really grateful. And if you see the replay or go over anything on the replay again, put hashtag replay. Everything helps. Getting out there more and more, and that's really nice. So, hey, thanks, Patty. You rock too. You rock too. Um, Thanks, Sushi. And so, is there anyone that has anything they would like to ask me? I could try to answer. I'll give it from my heart and from within myself, the best that I can, and pulling up all the information if it's not too personal for everyone to hear. And then also, if there's anyone who has something in their body that's bugging them, please feel free. Oh, a lot of people saying, you rock, yay, you do too, yay. Please, anyone, any kind of question or something that's bothering them in their body, one physical thing that I can work with, just one, please. And I'll give it my darndest. Please type it out. I know there's a delay on this Facebook thing here to when people talk, or when I can see it, I mean, from when they ask. Let's see here. Is there anything else you'd like me to mention? Please, please, please. Please, again, remember that there is a workshop coming up, a 4-day workshop, an hour and a half a day for 4 days, Monday to Thursday, from the 26th of this month. It's next week. Oh my God, 3, 4, 5 days. And that's on the website. Lynn posted all the information above in the chat areas. And Angela, hey Angela, good to see you, my dear friend. Oh my God. All right. Oh my God, good to see you. Angela, she's in New Mexico. Oh gosh. And all right, let's work with Angela's tummy. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. All right. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I normally do it here, but you just sit back and relax, Angela, and you let me take over, hon. And nothing to worry about. And there is a little intestinal irritation in my perspective, what was shown to me. So that was just my perspective. I'm not giving a medical advice. I don't diagnose, I don't prescribe, and I don't tell anyone they're healed. A little irritation from intestinal irritation. So, and it's mostly coming from one spot. And if you were to push it on that spot, you would feel, if you can go deep enough, I don't know, but you would actually feel, or feel it inside like it's like knotted, but it's not knotted. It's just a little irritation in this particular spot that's generating out, and it's sore. My perspective. And so I'm going to work more with it, hon. And in my perspective, I perceived that there was like a little release in there, and that will help it. And it'd be really ideal if you, in my understanding, that you uh, um, just had water for a day, for 24 hours, and you won't die. So um, and you won't starve to death if you just had water, and or even room temperature, or not cold water, but room temperature or warm water. Uh, that would help it in its consciousness of the distress, the distress's consciousness, to dissipate even quicker. And so, um, let me know how you're feeling now, please, if you don't mind, Angela. I'd really appreciate it. Sushien, your headache. Oh my gosh. Okay. I keep wanting to use my hands. Yeah, not necessary. My perspective is also that you're getting tingling in your head, Sushien. So that's just the energetics and reactions, or the reactions of the energetics, and that's good. It's releasing too. Okay. All right, my dear. Please do keep me updated how you're doing if you notice any change. John, my friend, I do have an issue with the spinal headache. Oh, that needed a blood patch. Okay, all righty. Um, let me work with your spine, John, if you don't mind here. I'd love to. All right. And I'm going to use my hands on this one. And John, not to talk you into it or make you think it, but you may sense some activity in your spine that's different than what it was a couple minutes ago. I felt a flow, and so to me, my immediate I'm going to crack up on this. My immediate vision was that there was a little work crew in there, almost like a work crew for a railroad track, and there were about maybe three or four or five uh, little people, and they were in your spine, maybe microscopically tall, but and they had tools and they were widening the track and putting asphalt down for the tissue and all like that. So uh, let's see. You'll tell me, how you feel and if anything's transpired. I appreciate, and please, if anyone, does have an experience, I love the feedback and or what it was like before and what's happened since. If you can write that out, I'd really appreciate that. Patty, how's your thumb? Please let me know, please. And Sushien, how do you feel? If you notice any changes yet, um, and please do let me know. I love the updates, please. Heidi wrote, "Hey Heidi, good to see you, my dear friend. I can't download your app. Lynn, can you help her with that? She can't download uh, the app. I'm not sure what's meant by that. Please, Lynn, can you help me out? And if you have any difficulty, Heidi, write to admin at markerlix.com, and that's Lynn directly, and she'll help. And all right, um, Angela. Oh, maybe Lynn put it underneath markrolix.com unleash your fearless imagination. That's the workshop. Okay. I don't know if she was talking about if Heidi was talking about that workshop or something else. Uh, please, Lynn, if you can help that, I appreciate that. And it's so great to see you too, Angela. Please let me know if you notice any difference in how you feel, please. Uh, everyone here, everyone, please. I appreciate it. And yes, for what I had mentioned with Angela. Oh, yes, I thought of it. Cleanse. Yes. Good, 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 good. Very important for you, Angela. Thank you so much. It does feel better. Good. And now, everyone, when I do something, if I should say do something else with it on your part, do it because that's your participation in it, which will really rock it out. And it'll be much longer term effect and for life, possibly. Sushin, oh, Andrew's left ankle is really hurting him. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes what happens is uh, all the stuff that's within the ankle confines. Uh, Sometimes they get when a person out of nowhere, even it happens. The tissue, the little bones, all kinds of things they get displaced, and sometimes the tissue it gets jammed in if we step wrong or whatever. Things happen, and so um, this will help it. And there's also inside in my sight and my impression that's being impressed is that there was tissue irritation, and so, but it's nothing major, and and those kinds of things do go. So we'll see if we can quicken that a lot. And if he focuses on it, he'll feel a warmth, and that warmth is the healing of it, and it should be a lot better soon, if not by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Sushin. Uh, okay, and so your thumb is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Yeah, Heidi wrote that, Lynn. Heidi above, wherever she is. I think I don't see her now. All right, Heidi wrote that. She couldn't download the app. Uh, if there's some way, I don't know how, but if there's some way you can communicate with her, I don't know. Or Heidi, if you can communicate with Lynn, um, and then we'll take it from there. Christine, both my wrists up through my arms are bothering me. Oh no, from working. Don't work. Oh, Christina, let me work with your wrists. I'm going to leave a piece of my spirit with you as I go on with other people, Christina, and they'll just be working with your wrists. All right, and and please do let me know if they feel better or if you sense something different in there, either immediately or you might feel it tomorrow morning. I don't know. I don't know. But change it also, obviously, as we all know, change your habit on what you're doing, but don't work. Let Steve do the work. So, all right. And just tell him, Steve, I can't. My wrists are. That reminds me of a story. One of my buddies came to me many, many, many years ago and says, my grandfather had a stroke, and or excuse me, my grandmother had a stroke, and her whole I don't remember if it was right side or left side. I think it was the left. It was all paralyzed all the way down to her leg. And he said, please, can you pray for her, Mark? And I said, yeah, sure. And so I prayed for her. And then a few days went by, and he came up. This guy Rich came up to me, and he said, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He said, "All this time, my grandmother, was sitting like at breakfast. My grandfather would take care of her. Oh, excuse me, it was about a week later or 2 weeks later." And he said they were at the breakfast table, and my grandfather is feeding and and catering to her, and she wasn't able to move her arm, her hand, and her leg. And so I said, yeah. And does she notice a difference? Do you know? And if you mentioned that I worked with her and stuff like that, and he said, no, I didn't even talk about it to them. And so then, as they were at the breakfast table, and he's catering to her, feeding her, and because she was left-handed, I think, and so she didn't have the coordination for her other hand, and she wasn't talking much. Then, just out of habit, he said, whatever her name was, please hand me the jelly. And so she used her hand, the paralyzed one, and handed him jelly. And then the cat was out of the bag, and he found out that she was healed. It was the funniest thing. And then he told me about that, and we both cracked up. So, in any case, so if you notice anything different, please do share it. Oh, good, Sushi, and I'm happy you feel better. And just trust that. Let it live within you. Um, Good, good, good. John, I'll have to see. My headache lessened, but pressure is still present in my head. Okay, let me do a little bit more there, John, if you don't mind. And I pray that what will happen now is that you feel like a flow through your head, and the pressure will lessen. If it hasn't already, let's see if it doesn't. Please do keep me updated, John. I really appreciate that. Lynn, hi Heidi. Please let me know what you're referring to so I can help you more. Thank you. Yes, please, Heidi. Let Lynn know. John, thank you, my old friend. Yeah, we don't. I think you came to a healing circle or something, or an appointment about 25 years ago, or 30 years ago. My God, it's been a long time. You and your brother. Thank you, my friend. I have never forgotten your teachings from long ago. Blessings to you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Mary, my friend Mary, yay! My brother Bob has pain in his shoulder. He's going for the MRI tomorrow, trying to avoid surgery. And some things in medical science are okay, but some things are not okay. It's not my place to judge. And so let me work with his shoulders on. I'm in a real restrictive chair. The arms come out. Let me work with Bob. Yeah, sometimes also what happens is there's a little tear that happens either here or in here, and I'm wondering if that might be the situation. And sometimes uh, they can get a shot of something. I forgot what it's called, and then they do exercise and it gets taken care of. So I'm wondering if that's what that is. Um, but I think it's cortisone and it's white, the white stuff. I think that's cortisone, um, and so that's what I'm seeing. So um, if it is that tear, it doesn't need uh, a surgical procedure. I wouldn't think. I would think that once they get the cortisone where it's all taken care of, then if he exercised, I would think that that would be what his body might just need, if that would be the situation. Um, so uh, I don't I don't know anything medically, so just want to say that I've always said that kind of stuff. All right, please do keep me updated, Mary Edwards. I really would appreciate that. Thank you, Mark. You rock. Cool. And let's see, Mary Edwards. It is definitely a tear. Okay, good. Yeah. That was my perception. I didn't want to tell anyone something medically, and I don't like to do that. Wow. Good, 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 good. All he needs then, if that being the case, is once he gets a cortisone shot from an shoulder doctor, a shoulder doctor. It has to be a shoulder doctor. And then um, the doctor will that gives him the cortisone shot will give him a prescription for therapy for a few weeks. That's all that I would think is needed. Thank you for sharing that with me, Mary. Good deal. And membership is great. My pleasure, Mary. All right. I really want to thank everyone. Oh my God, we're late. So I'm honored that you were here. This turned into a healing circle, but I'm fine with that. But next week, if you have questions pertaining to spirituality or healing, I would love to, you know, give my gab on it. And I'm honored that everyone is here. Please do check out the website and the workshop and everything Lynn posted from above, and we'll take it from there. Blessings to you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye, everyone.